Hello, everybody, and welcome to It's a Wild, 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 Wild Map. I'm Mr. DM, and with me are my fabulous players. Hello, fabulous players.
Hello.
Hello.
So, quick announcements, and then we will get into the meat and potatoes of the game. So, once again, for those who are unaware and already it's getting kicked off, you can buy inspirations for our players. So if you want to buy inspirations specifically for our players, you get up to 3 turns per session. And you specify if you want an individual to have it or if you want the group to have it, and then the group will decide if they want to use it or not. You can also buy me an inspiration. You can only do it once, so use it wisely. And it is a little more expensive because you are fucking with the players through the DM, so it is a little more expensive. But you can do that if you feel so inclined. So make sure you use those channel points, and trust me when I say it does help them out a lot. Second announcement is, once again, we have our wonderful merch in the store. You can get so many things. You can get t-shirts, you can get hoodies, you can get mugs, you can get mouse pads. I'm looking right at it and completely blanked on what it was called. But all of it is amazing stuff, kind of like this mug. That's tasty merch. Yeah, so you can actually see some of the artwork on here. It is really cool. And if you are a Twitch subscriber, you get at tier 1, you get 5% off your purchases. If you're tier 2, 10%, and tier 3, 15%. But regardless of whether you're a subscriber or not, the prices are actually pretty good, and it is very high quality stuff. So if that's a way you'd like to support what we're doing, that's also our way of kind of giving back to you. So you've all been so cool with your support, whether just watching or subbing or being a patron on Patreon. This is kind of our way to give back. So hopefully you like some of that stuff. But I can absolutely say, as someone who has purchased a number of the items, like this mouse pad, these are really, I am consistently impressed by the quality of this stuff. It's really, really, really nice. So please, by all means, if you're looking for a way to support us, that is an awesome way for you to support us. And I think as far as announcements go, I think that might be it. How do you give me a DM inspiration and then say, please don't kill me? Just don't, that's kind of like contradictory, because I can use it anytime. I can use it as a bad NPC or a good NPC.
Just be nice.
That's not your call. That's 100% my call. So request denied. Only because I don't take requests. So that's why your request is. It doesn't mean I'm going to kill you. It just means that your request has been denied.
I'll show you later.
You'll try. So
don't test me.
All right. So I just want this. I mean, this is getting recorded anyway, but I just want it on record that when you all die, it's her fault.
Got it.
All right. Is not I will not be the blame. It will
will not die.
It will be your dragonborn wizard that has been the cause of your current pains and griefs. Anywho, but yeah, that's, as far as announcements are concerned, that's pretty much it. So we can jump right back into the game. So last week, when we were all together, you had completed a battle against Gozom Glosk, who up until recently you thought was just a mild-mannered, corrupt Crownsguard. Turns out just a little more than that. Because as you entered his domicile, not only did he have some kind of demonic, fiendish chickens, but Gozom Glosk himself was some sort of fiendish creature. Still not 100% sure what he is. However, you did battle with his chickens. After summarily defeating his chickens, which is the weirdest thing I've probably said, you then proceeded to fight him as well. Was not exactly what we would call a smooth fight, simply because some of your companions were seemingly turned in the middle of the fight to fight you. But in the end, you were successful in defeating him. And for some strange reason, yet another portal opened. And in his final throes of life, you were all, with the exception of Sora, because at that time she was kind of unconscious in another room, you are all splattered with gore and blood and muck that came shooting out of this portal. And the only thing in this moment that you have as far as proof of defeating this individual is a head and a hand, which seemingly were cut off by the portal itself. Actually, the head, after a number of attempts to try and behead him, was you were successful in doing so, but the portal itself spit out not only all the gore, but there is a kind of fiendish hand just kind of sitting on the ground as well. As you kind of stood around, those of you who were controlled by this creature, finally coming to your senses, you begin to stand around and discuss what your next steps are and what you should do. You hear a knock at the door, someone calling for Glosk. A few of you did try to look out of the windows to see if you could see anything. Rolled extremely poor, trying to see out of these dirty, cracked windows. And you thought everything was, clear. Everything was good to go. So, but then again, the knock at the door and someone calling for Glosk, and that is where we left off. So currently, you're all kind of standing around the window that you all came in from. The whole area that you're standing in is just drenched in this gore. Like it is still like plopping and dropping from the ceiling. It is kind of covering everything on the floors. And once again, Sora is the only one who is not actually covered in all of this mess. But someone is aggressively at this point. Hey, Glosk! Glosk, open up, man! No, you're in there. What do you want to do?
All right. My character is going to use his hat of disguise and transform into Gozom Glosk.
Okay.
I get my dagger out, and I start walking towards the door. And I whisper to everyone, "Find another way out, or try and see if there's any other people here around us. I'm gonna try and convince them to leave." And then I'm gonna go up to the door.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, "Who is it?"
As you say this, you hear somebody at whoever's at the door. Who the fuck is that?
Could I do a performance check to see if I could, like...
Yeah.
No, it didn't work.
Actually, this would be a deception check instead of a performance
Deception?
check. Yeah.
Could I at least try that? Like try to
Try what?
sound like him?
Well,
Like
yeah.
Gozom Glosk?
That's what the deception check is about.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Because they haven't seen you yet, so performance check would be you acting like him, but you just kind of called out to them, and it's an unfamiliar voice.
24.
24. Okay. 1 second. 24 and just curious what he'll get. Okay, yeah. This is ridiculous. I got to change these dice. So just I got a nat 1, but last night I rolled 5 nat 1s. And the first roll of this evening for me is a nat 1, so these dice have got to go. So let's see. But as you kind of say that, and he says, "Who is that?" How do you respond back?
Out of game. I am really nervous. I am terrible with accents.
Well, you don't have to. I mean,
Yeah.
the roll
Okay.
the roll kind of helps you with that. But like, what are you trying? What do you say to kind of convince him you are who you are?
I'm Gozom Glosk. Who the fuck is this?
Okay. As you say, like, relax. We just came to see if you were ready to go. I mean, you weren't at the bar, and you just wanted to see if you were all right. There's no need to get all uppity and shit. Zarina?
I want to deactivate the light spell on that table in that corner.
Okay. Yeah, without a problem, you're able to do that. But yeah, you get that response, Galen. But it still sounds like that person is still there.
Oh. Sorry guys, I'm not up to it tonight right now.
You sure? I mean, we've seen you pretty fucked up and sick and shit faced and all that. I mean, probably make you feel better. Come on,
I just can't right now. I got some work to do, and someone has been a bit uppity lately. Yeah.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. Oh gods. Oh boy. 21.
21.
I am so nervous right now.
That's better than a nat 1. Okay. So you hear back. Hold on. You hear back. It's those fucking chickies, man. I told you they have a fucking problem. You probably get like some bird sickness or something, man. You should really come out with us and just kind of get some fresh air at the very least. Come on. And he begins, come on, man. Just banging on the door, try to get you to come out. Jarina?
I want to walk up behind Galen, and I want to say, Glassglow, why won't you come back to bed? I thought we were going to spend the night.
Make a deception check for me, Jarina.
It's a 12.
A 12? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Okay. So you hear chuckling behind on the other side of the door. He goes, "Oh, feeling well. Oh, okay." And you hear there's a couple of people outside the door. It's not just one, but you hear them all chuckling. And he goes, "All right, fine. If you start feeling better, we'll be back at the bar, man. So just come on, take care of your business and get some rest." And you kind of start hearing a number of individuals walking away from the door, like talking amongst themselves, but kind of chuckling and laughing as they're walking away.
I wait I wait like a minute, and I'm like, Jarina, you're a genius.
All right. So,
Galen, this disguise makes you look fuck ugly, but I think you should keep it on for the walk back.
Well, I don't know if that's gonna cover everyone's blood soaked.
We can stick to the shadows and separate. We don't have to go as a big group.
Okay. Leah, you mind scouting for a second?
Sure, no problem.
all right. So, what's the plan, folks?
I'm assuming we want to leave, but
Yes, but where are we going to go back to the orphanage and clean up?
I want to go back to Leopold's.
But we're in goo.
And he's
They
a
got
wizard.
And he's a wizard. Yeah.
But the guards going through the gate will notice that we're in goo.
Exactly. We could just say we were doing a job for Leopold.
He's got a point.
You're right. You're right. I agree. That was a good point. But we should wait until give the guys a head start in case they're meandering. And if anybody is still around the house, I don't know, jump on the bed or something.
The two of us just bouncing on the bed.
Yeah. I'm trying right now. I can't.
Stop jumping on the bed. All right. So you're gonna head to how? All right. So you're still in this house. Like, how are you getting out of this house? Like, what's like? Paint me a word picture, folks. Like, what's happening?
Leah is scouting, is she not?
Yeah.
All right. So what are you doing, Leah? Since they just threw you under the bus for everybody else, let's go. What are you doing, Leah?
Well, as I remember last week, I was looking for a very covered way out of the house to scout around and see who was waiting in the alley. So I'm gonna try to get out through one of the windows that's the least likely to break and shatter.
Well, you have you literally have a window open. Like, that's the window that everybody came through.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's
I'm
wide
making
open.
my way out. Yeah, I'm making my way out the same way I came in.
Okay.
Okay.
So while the rest of you are standing by the open window, you just watch Squall turn around and walk into one of the bedrooms. So Leah, as you leave the confines of the room, you make your way out of the window. I need you to make a perception check. Squall, I also need you to make a perception check as well.
I would also like to add that I am being super stealthy.
Okay. Well,
as much as I can be.
Okay. So just we'll hold off on that for a minute. I just need perception checks first. So what did you say, Squall?
Nat 20.
For a total of?
For a total of 20.
20. Okay. And how about you, Leah?
I rolled a 10 10 plus 8 is 18.
18. Okay. Now, Leah, make me a stealth check, please.
Galen can just walk out the front door.
My stealth is plus 11, and I rolled a 13, so 24.
24. Okay. All right. So, Leah, you're outside. You're kind of looking down the alleyway of the side of where you guys came in, and you really don't see anybody. You can still see like the detritus and a couple of the buildings that have been boarded up. But this way seems pretty clear. To kind of like if you wanted to leave this way, you get the impression that the alleyway is if you just stick to this alleyway, there's a good chance you will, if there's anybody kind of like meandering around, that they probably will miss all of you if you're quiet about it. Squall, as you kind of exit the window, and kind of you're now in the front of the building, and you kind of look around. You can see in the distance 4 individuals, kind of like they're just. It looks like a bunch of friends, just kind of like bullshitting and talking. Occasionally, they kind of shove each other. They're chuckling and laughing, but they're pretty far down, and you can kind of see them under the actual magical streetlights that are lit. And these are probably the guys who were at the door a few moments ago. But they are absolutely like on their way to the bar. They seem to have believed the story, and they are literally like just moving away from your location at this moment. Outside of that, you don't see anybody else in the immediate area.
Cool. So as they, I just don't rush it, and as soon as they're like good solid 20 meters away, I'll climb out and slink towards the back of the building, and just to be sure.
Okay. Just kind of like meeting up with the rest of the group?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the rest of you, are you going out the way Leah went out? What's happening?
I will. I'll go out the window.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
gonna
walk
go
out the front door.
No, I'm good. I'm
If
just
you're-
gonna go out the window.
If you're still in that disguise, Galen, it would be least sneaky if you just walked out the front door.
Yeah, but if they see him, they're gonna wonder why he's not stopping his lady friend.
Oh yeah, true that.
Maybe they should wait a little while so we don't all leave en masse.
Yeah.
All right. So I would like stealth checks from everybody as you are beginning to exit. But Galen, are you going to be leaving with the group? Are you hanging behind the way they're kind of suggesting? What's your plan?
If I may make a suggestion, if you and I are the last people to leave, because then both of us can kind of stick with the story of, schnooking.
Oh, I was just gonna use my disguise so that I don't look so goopy.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go on ahead, or you can hang about with me, but I'm just gonna use my hat of disguise to mask this.
Okay. I'm gonna be the last one out, though.
I'll go right before you.
Okie dokie. So, 1 second. All right. So as you are leaving, you begin to leave the building one at a time. Leah's already out on the side. Squall's kind of making his way towards the location where you are. And Rowan and Sora, you begin kind of climbing out of the window and just kind of making your way there. We'll start with Rowan. What'd you get for your stealth check, please?
14.
14. Sora?
The tip of my foot catches on the window, on the border of the frame, and I kind of gracelessly fall outside. I got a 10.
You got a 10? Okay. That's not terrible. And Squall, what'd you get?
Well, Well, it's a disadvantage. And with disadvantage, I still rolled an 18.
Nice. Leah, what did you get?
This was stealth?
Yes.
I rolled another 13, so 24.
Okay. 24. So you begin kind of making your way out, and you're now outside of the building. Are you milling about? Or are you making your way, kind of waiting for Galen and Jarina, or?
I'm sidling along the wall, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible.
Okay.
I like to count to 10. I'm gonna watch everyone walk down, head down the street, and then I'm gonna climb out the window and follow, trying to stick to the shadows.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of doing like a one at a time kind of milling away from the house. Galen, what did you get for your stealth check?
23.
23. And Jarina, what did you get?
17.
17. Oh, it's not bad. All right, so one at a time, you begin kind of making your way out of the building and then start walking toward.
Can I just say that we had put the head in the portable hole, or is somebody carrying the head?
In the hole.
Okay, it was in the hole. Okay, and the hand too, I guess, because I don't want to leave that there.
Well, okay. As a reminder, and again, this is not something anybody has to roll for. My hope is one of you would remember this. There needs to be something in the house that shows that Glosk was there, and you're actually trying to kind of like pin something on him. Like I'm going by what you all told me. So if it looks like there's nobody in the house, what's to say that Glosk is going to be? Anything's going to be pinned on him, right? So
leave the hand, keep the head.
We hid the drugs in his bed.
Okay. I just want to remind everybody where
we
we're
can
at.
leave the hand. Does everyone want me to leave the hand? Yes or no?
I don't think we should leave it.
Anyone else?
We gotta leave some sort of trace that he was here. The hand would be the most efficient because the head is for the gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a point.
Can we leave it by the bed where the drug is?
Yes.
Yep,
I'll have it cryptically pointing at the mattress.
Perfect.
Yeah,
That's not suspicious.
Yeah, you guys are amazing at this. All right, so Jesus Christ. So, all right, so yeah, so you leave the hand, you take the head. The hand is like oddly, like kind of like limply pointing as rigor mortis is setting into the hand, at this bed. You all, one at a time, begin making your way out of the house. And where are you heading specifically? I heard a couple of suggestions, but not a final destination.
We're going to Leopold.
Okay. So one at a time, you begin making the last two that make it out. Jarina, you go first before Galen. Galen, you wait about a minute or two, and then you kind of exit as well. Still in your kind of in your Glosk form. Definitely not dirty, but you look clean at this point.
I think I was just gonna go with my elf form, but once we get into like the alleyways or how we're getting through, I just get out of Gloska's form and I go to my usual elf form.
Okay. So you exit the window, you drop your Glosk form, and you go into your elf form, not your drow form, but your elf form. Okay. And you all begin kind of making your way slowly, steadily back to the Tri-Spire area, which is going to take you some time, maybe about 30 to 40 minutes from where you currently are in Zadash. But you're slowly making your way. Is at any point in time, are you kind of like gathering again together as a group, or are you kind of staying staggered throughout your whole trip back to the Tri-Spires.
I think we should at least pair up when we get closer to the Tri-Spire.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes.
I'd like to stay a little further back to make sure that we're not being followed and kind of cover everybody.
Okay. So you, Leah, make me a perception check, please. Actually, everybody make me a perception check, please. All right. So as you are making your way through the streets of the outer steads, Rowan, what'd you get?
26.
26. Jarena?
18.
18. Sara?
I'm just thinking about the indignity of the whole thing, and especially with Galen wiping the slime on my face. Then I got a 5.
Okay. Squall?
4.
All right. Leah?
I rolled a 3. 3 plus 8 is 11.
11. Galen?
14.
14. Okay. All right. So you're all, making your way towards the Tri-Spires here in the Western Outer Steads. And it's going to take you some time. And as you are kind of making your way there, just as you are getting kind of to the edge of the Penta Market, which at this point in time, like, everything is closed. Like, the streets are mostly empty. The only lights are the ever-burning magical lights on the streets, specifically to light them up. And you are now starting to see your very first glimpses of actual Crown's Guard patrols. Western Outer Steads, while you were kind of making your way through there, you really didn't see any. But now you actually, at this point in time, you actually see one Crown's Guard patrol of two Crown's Guard kind of walking through the streets. And with your stealth checks, your previous stealth checks, you go unnoticed. And that's a good thing, because most of you are drenched in nasty, like just complete nasty. It's terrible. And you'd probably be very hard pressed to explain yourself at this point in time, but thankfully, they do not see you as you pass by. And again, you're not drawing attention to yourselves, as you are not a huge group walking down the street. But Rowan, as you're kind of crossing into the actual Penta Market area, you do see an individual about maybe 60 feet ahead of you, kind of standing underneath one of the lanterns, one of the ever-burning lanterns, hood up, humanoid, just kind of standing there, facing you. You can't see a face or anything, but their body is like facing towards your direction, and they're just kind of standing there. The light kind of beaming down over them shadows all of their features. You can't even make out at this point like what color like the cloak and hood that they're wearing is, but they're just kind of standing facing towards you specifically as you're kind of walking into the Penta Market. And you do have to cross through to get to the Tri-Spires, but they're just kind of like standing about 60 feet ahead of you. Definitely not a Crown's Guard.
Do I recognize this person as someone we've dealt with in the past? Do I recognize the cloak or anything like that?
You would have to get closer to them to determine any of that stuff. From where you are currently, you can't determine any of that. But you can definitely see them.
And they can definitely see me.
You would guess. Again, they're just kind of like their body is facing towards you.
Okay, well, I assume that this is probably someone from the gentleman.
So what would you like to do?
I'm going to keep walking, and if they intercept me, I will, and I'll address it.
Okay. All right. So you continue moving, and as you are making your way through the Penta Market, you do kind of turn to look, and you can see that they are absolutely walking not at you, but they're walking in the direction that they would eventually intersect with you if you continue moving where you're moving. They are kind of sticking to the shadows at this point. So again, you're still having a hard time. You can't see the face. You can't see the color of the cloak that they're wearing. But they are starting to move perpendicular to you, and eventually they'll cross into you.
Who goes there?
As you say that, the figure stops, and you watch as the head kind of tilts and looks, and then just shakes, and then they make a beeline right at you. And now, as they're getting closer to you, you can see that the cloak it's a gray cloak. It's just it's nondescript. There's no markings on it whatsoever. It's just a gray cloak and hood. And the cloak is completely just covering the body down to the ankles. And the hood is obscuring the face. And as they get closer to you, the rest of you can now kind of see this person like walking towards Rowan. But the rest of you are kind of, you're pretty much maybe like, you have anywhere between 10 to 15 feet in between each other as you're kind of like staggered. But you definitely see, like, at this point, like, this person is just making their way right to Rowan.
I hold out my staff.
In a threatening manner?
Just put it in front of me just in case. Like, I plant myself where I am.
Okay. As you do that, the figure, it doesn't seem to register that you did anything, continues to get closer and closer. About 10 feet from you, the person stops. And as you can feel that this person is just like looking and staring at you, just up and down. Make a perception check for me.
Do you have any group inspos?
Use one.
We have three.
Do you guys mind?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Uh, 24.
24? Okay. You still are having a hard time discerning like facial features, but as you're kind of like staring at the person, they have a very thin, wiry frame to them. You can kind of see just by the way the cloak is just kind of like hanging off of the body, that they are probably very thin, very wiry, and the way they move, silent. Like they were silently moving towards you, making no sound whatsoever. And as you're just kind of like holding your staff out in front of you, a voice emerges from underneath the hood and kind of begins addressing you. So, Rowan, I would like to extend an invitation to you and your companions to the Cobalt Soul. I believe there's a lot that we need to discuss. In fact, I insist upon it, considering that you have all fucked an investigation that we were conducting, and now we need some information from all of you. If you make a noise, if you make a sound, if you try to run, I promise you, you and your companions will regret it.
Great.
Do you accept our invitation?
Don't think I have a choice.
Very smart. And as the rest of you kind of begin gathering towards Rowan, this individual just kind of turns and begins walking, expecting you to follow. Do you all follow?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
All right. So as you begin following this cloaked individual, they're moving fast. They're just walking. They're not running by any means, but there's definitely like a stride to their walk that makes you kind of need to kind of keep up with them. And they are very silent. You are now being led into the other side of the outer steads, the eastern outer steads. And actually, hold on a second. Just want to double check something real quick. Where are you at? There it is. Okay. And you are brought deeper into Zadash to the Interstead Sprawl. And you've all been here before. You've actually been to the Cobalt Soul library. And it is, once again, it is impressive. It is a massive building with a number of other buildings attached to it, but it is gated. And as you approach the building, you watch as 6 more cloaked individuals emerge from shadows and begin kind of surrounding the rest of your group as you begin heading into the library itself. The guard at the gate doesn't even say anything, just opens the gate and allows the cloaked individual and your group to kind of just walk into the gated area. As you enter the Cobalt Soul Library, once again, it is like, for lack of a better term, a cathedral of learning. Massive bookshelves, at least 4 floors that you can see of just bookshelves and circular staircases and ladders, multiple tables and chairs where you could actually, once you grab the books that you are looking for, you can sit there and write notes or read, what have you. Currently at this hour time, there is nobody here except for the individuals that are escorting you right now. They lead you past the tables on the first floor to a book, one of the spiral staircases, where they lead you to the second floor. On the second floor, you come to there's a wall with a few doorways, and you are led to a double doorway that, when it is opened, it looks like a massive meeting room. There is this huge oak round table in the middle. It is well lit in here. Again, this room filled with bookshelves lined with massive amount of books. But there are at least a dozen chairs around the table, and the cloaked figure kind of holds a hand out and motions for you all to sit. As you begin to sit, the other 6 cloaked individuals begin to take their hoods and cloaks off, and as they do, you can see that these are all monks. They are wearing the vestments of Cobalt Soul monks, where you can see it's blues and grays, vests, not so much shirts, but mostly vests, baggy pants, wraps around the hands and wrists. There are 3 what look like elves, 2 possibly half elves, and 1 human. They are just kind of standing around. Now, cloaks are literally dropped on the ground. The doors are closed. And the only person who has not revealed themselves as of yet was the person that led you here. They have their back to you, and they did kind of have their head, just bowed forward slightly, almost like they're kind of lost in thought. And you're kind of sitting in silence for a few moments. Is there anything anybody wants to say or do in this time?
May I observe the surroundings around us to see if there are any exits or possible ways to escape should things go sideways?
Sure. Make a perception check for me, please.
Can I do that too?
Sure.
My perception just sucks tonight. Another 3, so 3 and 8 is 11.
11? Okay.
Mine is 19.
19. Okay. All right. So, Leah, you start kind of looking around for any ways that, kind of different ways out. And as you look in the corner, you can see your buddy Varys is just kind of like leaning up against a bookshelf, and he just goes. And the only way that you can see in and out of this place is the way you came in, which has 6 monks standing in front of the door.
Excellent.
Galen, as you are kind of looking around as well, and you're just kind of looking about the place, the first thing you notice also is the 6 monks just guarding the door that you just came in from. But as you just kind of like begin to look around and you look up, the ceilings in this room are about 30 feet tall. Very, very high ceilings. And you can see just at the very top of the ceiling, there seems to be a round window that is the stained glass. But you can't tell exactly what the stained glass is depicting at this point. But there is a window. It doesn't look very large. But outside of the door, that's probably the only other way out of this room.
I don't imagine that there could be some weird way I could do some acrobatics and get up there.
You can certainly try.
Oh, okay. So that there's no like. Oh, what are those called? Like, candles on like the walls or?
No, the light. Yeah, no, the light that's coming in this room are these stationary globes that are just kind of lit and floating in the air, probably about 10 feet above your heads.
Okay.
There's no candle holders or candelabras or anything of that nature. These are just seems like magical sources of light. So as you're kind of sitting there in silence, just kind of looking around, waiting, you do hear eventually this individual begin speaking. So, we've been watching the home of Gozom Glosk for some time. We had some strange reports about corruption from within the Crown's Guard, and for those who are unfamiliar, one of the things that the Cobalt Soul is known for is weeding out corruption from within governments, within empires, within itself sometimes. So we took it upon ourselves once we were made aware of some interesting reports of extortion and other crimes to see if we could possibly find out more. So we've had a very close eye on you, Gozom Glosk. And turns around, and as they kind of pull the hood back, you see an elvish individual, the head completely shaved. There are tattoos along the along the forehead, going down over the eye, coming all the way down the neck. The cloak is still on, so you don't see how far that tattoo goes. It looks like this very like light blue lines with these jagged edges, just constant, just making its way down the neck. The very pointed ears have a number of silver cuffs on them, and their features are very, very fine. And they turn and they look directly at you, Galen. So you would be very surprised, as I was, to find that not only was Gozom Glosk a corrupt Crownsguard, and then they kind of lift their hand and snap. And as they do, your disguise goes away. And as it does, they continue. But also a Crick spy within the city of Zadash. Isn't that interesting? And immediately, all 6 monks are behind you, grabbing your arms, grabbing your shoulders, and making sure that you don't move. But I was even more shocked and surprised to find that a Crick spy would also have such compatriots helping him within the city of Zadash. So what's going to happen here is we're going to interrogate you. We're going to find out everything we need to know. And then based on that information, we'll see what happens next. That is, unless any of you would like to freely give us the information that we are so desperate to have. Because it's one thing to find corruption. It is quite another to find someone in the middle of a war crime. So if you'd like for this to go easy, just be forthcoming.
Rowan stands up. I want to speak to Tubo now. And only Tubo.
The elf now, for the first time since turning around and starting, takes their eyes off of Galen and looks at you. You have no standing here. I know who you are, Rowan. And based on the information here tonight, we will find out whether your deal is null and void. Tuvo is also aware of what is happening currently. You will not be speaking with Tuvo. You will be speaking with me this evening. I am the High Interrogator. I outrank Tuvo.
That is not Gozom Glosk. We killed Gozom Glosk.
They kind of narrow their eyes at you. Continue.
We discovered some kind of weird drug ring centering around a blood witch who was running an orphanage and some kind of fiend. Gozom Glosk was the fiend.
They kind of stare at you for a moment.
Where do you think all of this came from? This is his blood. We're covered in it.
Oh, well, clearly there was a battle of some sort. We heard what was going on within. So we're not surprised by your appearance, but we were very surprised to see Gozom Glosk actually exit the window and then change into another form. So that, as you please try and see it from my perspective, that's odd, a little bit strange, and considering the rest of you are with him, it doesn't bode well for you all.
I'm telling you the truth.
Make a persuasion check for me, please.
18.
18. They kind of stare at you up and down for a moment. Well, I have to say, though, now hear me out, all of you. And now they actually begin to kind of circle around, start walking around the table to address all of you. None of the monks have let you go, Galen, just by the way. They're just holding your arms and holding your shoulders. Now, based on your reports, Rowan, you are traveling with not one, but two individuals who from the Korean Empire, from the dynasty. So that's a little strange to begin with, but we understand. That was not within your purview to control, but still a little odd. And then we get these reports of corruption from within the Crown's Guard, and we see this, and just kind of gestures to all of you. Do you have proof of what you speak of?
I can show you his head.
Produce it.
I take out the portable hole and I start unraveling it on the floor.
Okay. As you do, one of the monks does let go of Galen and just begins making their way towards you, Rowan. Stops about 5 feet from you, allows you to proceed, but is now just watching you intently as you begin unfolding the hole.
I initially did not want to go after Glosk. It sounded like a hassle. I didn't want to deal with it. But all I heard was that he beat the children in the orphanage, and that's all I wanted to do after that was to find him and kill him.
All right. Well, we'll get to the orphanage and Blood Witch in a moment. This is what I need to know first. So
I unravel the portable hole and I climb down. And is the head still there, right?
Yeah, the head's there.
I grab it by the horn and hand it up to the nearest monk.
The monk grabs it and then brings it over to the individual speaking to you.
Then I go over and I pick up the Blood Witch's head, whatever's left of it, and hand it up.
Who is this?
This is the Blood Witch. She was masquerading as an elf running that White Willow orphanage at the edge of town.
I did read your report on that. All right. Kind of looks at that, like doesn't touch it. Like the monk is holding both heads, and just kind of like looks at it for a moment. Says something to the monk in the monk's ear, and the monk kind of nods and leaves the room with both heads. Door closes behind. All right, so we're going to see exactly what these things are. Just at a glance, that looks like a cabin, but we'll get a definitive answer within the next hour or so. But your friend here, and they point back to Galen. This is a problem. You're all such a large group. We have been monitoring you since you came into Zadash. You've been sending in your reports. We understand everything that's happening. And
then you would understand that he was never a crick. He never was in the army. He never joined. He was never a spy.
This is not my concern. My concern is that you are making waves with the most dangerous individuals in Zadash, and you've only been here not even 2 weeks. You are going to get yourselves killed. Worse, you're going to get innocent people killed.
Does it help that we were planning to leave town as soon as we were done with this mission?
It would have probably helped if you left sooner. But as it stands right now, you are currently a part of our investigation, and you will not be leaving here until that investigation is complete. Actually, I misspeak. You all can leave, except for him, points back at Galen, unless you wish to cooperate. If you don't wish to cooperate, that's fine. The rest of you could leave right now. However, when we finish our investigation and we finish our report, and you have not been forthcoming with us, there's a good possibility that the Empire will have a very clear understanding of who you all are and that you're all very dangerous. So if you would like to clear your names, if you would like to clear up any misconceptions of anything that I might be saying, you will cooperate. And you are already doing so. But by no means should you think at all that your hands are clean of responsibility here. You're working for the gentleman. You have been doing jobs for the Empire, and now clearly some kind of fiendish plot, and members of your group, yourself included, Rowan, part of the dynasty. This is a problem. Am I misspeaking? Am I saying anything that is false?
No.
So, turns back to you, Galen. I do want to apologize to you because up until this point you were free to do as you wished. But I cannot stress that we are in wartime. And you, unfortunately, fit the bill of those who we are at war with. So you will be held here until our investigation is complete. Because we cannot take the chance that someone finds out you are who you are. And if we are able to refute any reports of your being a spy, however, that's only for your benefit. But if it turns out that you are a spy, it stops here.
Alrighty then.
So with that, and then they kind of snap again, and as they do, the monks release you, but the chair you're sitting in, immediately you watch as ropes begin to kind of wrap around your hands and your arms and your legs and your chest, and you are now tied to this chair. So we will make sure that you all look like shit. So we're going to bring in some food for all of you. And make yourselves comfortable because you're going to be here for a while. And don't worry about introductions. I know who all of you are. I am High Interrogator Delmuth.
DM, could you repeat that? You broke up when you said his name.
Delmuth. Delmuth. So we will be having conversations over the course of this evening and hopefully clearing things up. And you, points at you, Squall. If you think about summoning your echo, you will be cut down.
I heard. I didn't intend to.
Just want to make sure we all on the same page and understand each other.
I know when I'm outnumbered and not in need of a fight, so
very well.
Crystal clear.
Good. So, as I said, get yourselves comfortable. We'll bring food in for you, some wash basins, so you look less grimy. And we will proceed with the interrogation. They turn around and they walk out of the room. The 5 monks still by the door, just kind of standing there. And over the course of the next 20 minutes or so, food is brought into to all of you. Kind of place the food down, and it's not anything fancy. It's cheeses, it's some breads. There's some vegetables, some fruits, and the actual. There are a few jugs put down, and the jugs are just filled with water. You do have goblets and cups around, and for at least for the immediate foreseeable future at this, you are kind of left to your devices in this room. One hand is released for you, Galen, so you can kind of feed yourself, but you are still tied to the rest of the way.
I like to imagine that they didn't really move the chair. Galen's just been bouncing on the chair, getting to the table.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they didn't move the chair. They just released one of your arms. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're just like. But eventually you're able to get there, and there are wash basins that are kind of brought in, so you can kind of clean yourselves up slightly. But in the meantime, while you're kind of sitting in this room, you have some time to talk amongst yourselves. You are not alone in the room. You do still have the 5 monks with you, but at this point in time, you're just kind of it's just the rest your group. So, what would you like to do?
All I wanted was a bath.
I'm very happily getting comfortable and doing what they say for food and bath, and I have no care in the world at the moment, and I am wearing that on my face.
Jarina?
Since Galen only has one hand available, I'm actually gonna wet some cloth and wipe his face down, and just try to help him clean up as best as possible.
Okay.
It's all crusty.
Yeah, it's still pretty nasty.
Wait, is your disguise still up?
No.
Or is it?
Oh no,
no,
they
it's
turned
down.
it off.
Okay, yeah, so I can see where
Yeah.
all the gunk is.
Yeah, and I take the hat off and put it on the table.
All right. And you guys can discuss anything you want, or we can kind of move forward. It's up to you.
I wash and eat.
Okay.
I wipe my face of the gunk and that Galen put on it, and I sit and I eat.
Okay.
So, you're a member of the Cobalt Soul? That's
No, I'm not.
cool.
I'm not.
But you've been giving them information about us.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not a member of the Soul. I used to be. I used to work for them. They fired me. Sniff one too many ancient tomes. They send you packing. Something about the oils in your skin, messing up the books.
Jarina?
I want to see if Rowan is being truthful.
Roll an insight check. And then Rowan, don't have to tell me which it is that you're rolling. You're either going to roll a deception or a persuasion check. You pick the one that you need to pick. Just give me the number when you're done.
Am I doing an insight check, or
are you
counter it? Yeah, because
right,
I know I'm no expert on the Cobalt Soul, but I think I with my background, I'm familiar with them.
I will say, yeah. So it'll be Jarena. Only Jarena and Galen can roll an insight check at this point. So Jarena, what'd you get?
20, not nat.
Okay. Galen?
23. Again, back to the 50 million 23s.
Okay. What did you get, Rowan?
I crit and I got a 21.
Okay. But it was a crit though? Okay. So Jarena, she seems pretty on the level. She seems kind of upset that, she got fired. Galen, she definitely believes that she doesn't work for the Cobalt Soul, but the rest of what she's saying it doesn't seem like she's being 100% truthful with you.
Interesting. As I eat my bread.
One-handed.
Well, that's it for me.
Anybody else?
Other than that, I'm staying quiet.
Okay.
I'm just observing everything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna clean up and observe.
Are there any books in this room?
There are a shit ton of books in this room.
Yes! I get up and I start looking at the books.
All right.
Then I pick one up and I start really investigating it and looking around and taking like a really surreptitious sniff and then putting it back.
Okay, so as you pick up the book, what languages do you speak?
Elvish, Sylvan, Common, what is that? Undercommon?
Undercommon, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As you pull the book out, you don't recognize the language of this book, but there are some pictures in the book, and as you start looking through it, pictures of sharp kind of implements, and then as you continue going further in, there's pictures of the sharp implements being used on humanoid individuals. Some of them going underneath the fingernails, some of them going underneath the eyeballs. Pretty gruesome shit. And then as you're just kind of like looking at like, what the fuck? One of the monks actually comes over, closes the book in your hand, takes it out of your hand, looks at you, don't look at the books, puts it back on the shelf.
I hang my head. Even the torturer's manual looked good.
Leah, as you're kind of looking around, you can see the monks that are standing by the doors. They're just kind of standing there, arms crossed. In between two of them, behind them, you watch Varys as he's giving them wet willies. They're not moving, but he's like, and just like sticking, like his finger just disappears in their ear and just pops out, and then he stares at them for a moment, and he's just like, I'm trying to distract them. It's not working. Sorry. Oh shit! Can you see me still?
I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're
You
on.
weren't. No. Varys is asking Leah. Like Varys is asking Leah.
Leah goes like this to him.
Oh.
You don't want to
right.
let on that you're here. You're the only one who can get us out of this.
All right. I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I just for a minute I got really worried that you couldn't see me anymore because this place has crazy like magical dampening stuff. All right. Good. All right. I'm still gonna try and figure out. I'll figure something out.
Leah, who are you talking to?
Don't worry, Rowan. Read your book.
I can't. I'm not allowed. It's like Mike getting fired all over again.
As you're having this conversation, Leah, as you're looking at Varys and you kind of say this really quickly to him, two of the monks immediately turn to look exactly at Varys. And then they just kind of turn and look at you and give you a very confused look. And Varys is like, oh, that almost worked. Let me try something. And then he turns around and he just disappears through the door. Like just walks through the door and disappears.
Okay. I'll wait to see if he's able to walk around out there.
Okay. Anybody else want to say anything, do anything, have a conversation? Okay. So you're in the room for about an hour. At this point in time, if you'd all like to take a short rest, you're definitely in this room long enough to do so. So you can absolutely take a short rest if you like.
I would like to take a short.
Okay. So you can take the effects of a short rest.
During the short rest, Galen is being like that annoying kid in a restaurant and using his one only hand and like using the utensils to make music. Is just banging it on the table, smacking his leg, making noise, testing the acoustics of the room.
Okay. One of the monks walks over to you, leans over to your head, and goes, "Stop that."
Stop that.
Just like starts to squint at you. Looks like he definitely wants to punch you in the face. But it's not. It's just staring daggers at you. Moves back over to the door with the others. All right. So after an hour goes by, the high interrogator does return. Sits in a chair across from all of you. Well, interesting. It seems that the head in your possession is absolutely a Cambion. Not something that we've actually come across before. And I'll be very honest, this is one of the best preserved specimens of a deceased Cambion, because normally they turn into a sludge upon death. So the fact that this head did not is very interesting. We did send a few of our agents to the home to verify some of what you had said. We found some interesting things. Now, before we continue, and I share any information, is there anything else you would like to say on your behalf in this matter?
Can you make sure those kids don't go to Rexingtrum? Make sure they're taken care of. The orphans. They're terrified that they're going to be sent to Rexingtrum. They want to stay in that home with each other.
Well, we're not even talking about the orphans right now. We're talking about Glosk right now. So
okay.
So we'll get to the orphans, but that they are not part of this investigation. They are so separated from it. It's not even funny. Now, is there anything you want to say about the Glosk issue?
He seemed like a total douchebag. We followed him around. He would go around town carousing almost every night. We heard from the orphans that he would go to the orphanage and beat them up for fun.
Terrorizing the old lady.
Yeah, he's been terrorizing people in town, threatening soldiers' families, extorting, as you know, because you said you did that investigation as well. And then when we got to his home, we thought he wasn't home. We went inside. We killed a bunch of these tiny little demons disguised as chickens, and then he was waiting for us on the ceiling of his bedroom. It was very strange. We had a fight. The plan was to take the drugs that we found in the orphanage and plant them in his house so that the Crown's Guard would know how corrupt he was. And then just sort of leave it looking like there was a fight in there, which we did. We left, I think, a hand behind.
Anything else?
Can I just sum up and just say that I tell him everything, I spill?
Okay. Is there anything that you leave out?
I can't think of anything that I would leave out.
Okay. All right. Make a persuasion check.
$19.
19. Kind of looks at you, nods slightly. They kind of look at you, slightly and nod. All right. So that explains some of what we found. Where did the suit come from again?
What's he asking me?
The suit, the drugs.
Oh, they came from a hidden compartment in the Blood Witch's bedchamber.
Why are you... I mean, I again, I understand, what you have sent. Your, 25 words or less reports is kind of difficult, but explain to me why you are working with the gentleman. You can say that you're summing up if you want to. You don't have to.
I'm gonna sum up, and I'm basically gonna tell him, where we were between a rock and a hard place. If we wanted to continue, we could do minor, small jobs for him and get on his good side, and possibly, figure out what his organization is doing, or we could just, I didn't want to have him following me all over the continent because he's pissed off at us because we messed up his supply chain. I have enough problems.
Very well. I'll be right back. And they turn, they seem like they're processing all of the information that you're talking about. And they leave the room. They come back about 20 minutes later. They turn directly to Squall. So, you are aware of the problems you're causing?
If by problems you mean just me existing from where I hail from, yeah, it's no surprise to me.
No. The agents that were sent from the Dynasty to retrieve you, you are aware of this?
Yeah.
Is that who that was?
To some degree. Again, the motives and there's a lot of this that I really don't know, but I am not completely clueless to them. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. They're using existing elements within the Empire so as to not be seen. So their presence is not known. However, since the time you've actually arrived in Wildmount, we have had an uptick of incidents which necessitated us to investigate as well. And while we don't have 100% information, what we do know is that they really want you badly. Did you take something from them? Did you kill someone? What is going on?
And again, I don't know. To my knowledge, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I do know that I am very popular, but I wish I did do something consciously that would warrant this, but I guess as good as mine.
Well, your presence in a populated area could put others at risk. Just making you aware if you weren't aware of that already.
That's why he got that fancy helmet.
Doing my best to try to stay concealed to some degree, or less recognizable, at least in a public space. But
traveling in a large group of 7 people really helps that.
Yes, that's not unknown to me.
Now,
a group.
Now, actually, Phoebe left.
I was going to ask where your other companion was, but I had assumed that she had perished.
I tell him about our big fight in the orphanage against the Blood Witch, and then a portal opened and cut the Blood Witch in half, and then some guy that we assume was an Elder Dragon convinced Phoebe to go away with him.
The High Interrogator does something that they haven't done yet, which is reach into their cloak, pull out some parchment, and begin writing as you are saying all of this.
They can't believe this shit either.
I can't make this up. My imagination is not this good.
They keep writing, seemingly trying to get everything down that you said. Stop. Just stare. Just begin, like, for the first time since you've actually were brought into the library. Really kind of looking at you intently now. And then gets to Galen, looks at Galen.
So,
and you. You're just a walking problem. Just your existence alone here in the city, within the Empire itself, is dangerous. Now, granted, you have this hat of illusion, hat of disguise with you, that seems to be helping. But if you get caught, you're not going to be treated as well as you've been treated this evening. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I know. Got almost a taste of that in Frostenwalt, if you are familiar with that. And I look at Rowan. Did you tell them that?
Come on, man. We had so much shit.
Just kind of nods. There's a lot going on here. Kind of seems to be thinking, kind of comes to a conclusion. You can see that they actually come to a conclusion. Just, all right, very well. So I'm inclined to believe most of your story. But there are a few things that you all, before we even think about letting you leave, we need to discuss. First off, the size of your group is large. Now, it would probably be easier to call yourself either a mercenary band or sell swords for hire or some such thing, which would make sense to the majority of of most people, considering that you're a large group. And from what I've gathered and from what I understand and from my research, you all are just introducing yourselves to everyone willy-nilly, using your real names. Like this is just insane to me. So if you're going to insist on using your real names, insist on using, letting people know exactly who you are and what you could do, you really should have a better cover than just, we're some people who are together. So I would suggest that you come up with some kind of name for your group. Just so you can tell, we're sell swords, we're mercenaries. Make up your own story. I don't care. But if you are going to have any kind of success in just being inconspicuous, that will help you. Second, your association with Leopold von Scott is treacherous at best. I don't know the extent of your association. Clearly, he has, for some reason, taken a liking to your group. I do understand that it does have something to do with his relatives in Trossenwald, and something that you've done for them. But the reality is, he is probably one of the most dangerous individuals that everyone is keeping an eye on. Everyone, not just us. Because he refuses to associate with and ally himself with factions such as the Empire, or the library itself, the Cobalt Soul, or even the Cerberus Assembly. He occasionally does favors for them, but not without incurring a massive debt from whoever he helps. So it gets to the point where no one wants any help from him, and he's perfectly happy with that. But he's dangerous. He is, again, unsolicited advice. Cut ties with him as quickly as you can before you regret it.
We did the pit of death with him, so yeah, we almost died.
What is the pit of death? What is this?
Oh, it was like a gladiatorial tournament type thing where he basically pit us against some of the biggest, craziest monsters I've ever seen.
He called it training.
Right. You're just confirming everything I just said.
Yes.
All right. Lastly, as I said, I'm inclined to believe your story. But I will say this. Rowan, as of this moment, your arrangement with Tuvo is null and void, and please hand me back the stone.
I reach into my pocket and hand him a rock.
Right, takes it, puts it inside the cloak. The rest of you, I don't want to know. I know limited things about all of you. Know that we are delving into your backgrounds extensively, because knowledge is power, and the more we have, the better it is. If there's anything you do want to share with us about who you are, where you came from, your motivations, things of that nature, by all means, please let us know. It might help you in the future. But should you not want to, that's fine. We're still going to do what we do. And it's simply because we need to know who our friends are, but we also need to know who our enemies are as well. We are going to release you. You are no longer persons of interest, and should we... Currently, we're not working with the Empire. This is an independent investigation by the Soul. But should we be working with the Empire at any point about these situations, your information will be useful. Not only in whatever investigation might ensue, but in clearing your names, or possibly making sure that you are not entangled in any future issues. Your involvement with the Myriad is also problematic. But there's nothing we can do about that.
We intended to end it as soon as we could.
Well, I will say that there has been some interesting activity to the north of us. We do, again, we keep tabs on many things, and Myriad activity being one of them. While it is difficult at best to actually get reliable information, what we can say is that the families, the tribes that Shady Creek run to the north have been restless, I guess is a good word. We don't know what's happening or why it's happening, but there seems to be some kind of infighting or war, or we're not sure. But the sooner you cut ties with the Myriad is probably in your best interest.
I agree with that.
So they snap their fingers, and Galen, you are immediately, the ropes just dissolve around you and just kind of like disappear. So you're all welcome to leave. Be careful. The portals and things that you were talking about, those are things that have been happening as well throughout the city to others as well. Doesn't seem to be as violent or extensive as you've described it, but we're investigating that as well, so just be careful. And as far as the orphans are concerned, we'll send someone to assess the situation and see if there's anything that the soul can do to help.
Question.
Yes.
So about that witch's head, can we use that to give to the gentleman? Because he wanted proof that she was kind of dealt with, like physical evidence. Am I misremembering, or is that true?
Yes.
We wanted to bring it to him. I don't know if he requested physical proof or not.
Yes, you can have the heads. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, this has been a very eye-opening evening. I don't ever want to see any of you again.
I don't think we want to see you either.
Kind of looks at you, Sora. Well, let's just make sure we don't cross paths again. Otherwise, interested parties in Zarza's Kittrell might find out where you are. Good evening. Turns around, kind of walks out. About a minute later, a monk comes into the room and just kind of has two large bags and just kind of plops them on the table. And just kind of looks at all of you and goes, "Those are your heads."
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure. Turns around, walks out. The 6 monks are still by the door. And one of them just kind of looks at you and says, "When you're ready to leave, we'll escort you out."
Should we just leave the heads in the bags?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you scoop up
I'm
the
ready.
heads. Right? You scoop up the heads. And you are escorted out of the Cobalt Soul. You are taken out through the library. You are not given any chance to kind of wander, as they are like flanking each of you. And as you kind of get out to the courtyard, make your way to the gate is swung open. And as you make your way out of the gate, the monks stay behind. The gate is closed and locked, and you are now back on the streets of Zadash, in the Interstead Sprawl. A little cleaner, a little fuller, still exhausted. And at this point in time, it's very late. Like, you have spent most of the evening and very, very, very early morning here in the library. And as you kind of look up, you can see that dawn isn't right there, but it's like you can start to very, 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 very weakly, the sun is starting to rise. You can start to hear birds starting to chirp. It still looks about twilight, but you can see the light of the sun starting to peek through as dawn is starting to approach. So, what would you like to do?
Go to home base.
No, I think that we should go to the gentleman, get our business taken care of, grab our stuff from Leo's and our companions, and go.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with you, Sora.
Yes.
All right, fine.
Kind of tired of this nonsense.
All right, so you're going to the gentleman's.
Wait a second. The sun's coming up. Should we wait for nightfall?
No, I think we'll be fine.
I think we're still covered.
To a bar.
We're not just going to a bar. We're covered in ichor, and we have two big heads and
probably
no protection. Let's go to Leo's, wash up, get a full night's rest, and then go. Can we agree to that?
Well, yeah, we're pretty beat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I
really
heard two different things.
Okay.
What's happening?
I'm gonna put. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Leopold, and but first I want to put the heads in the portable hole. So I find a secret little spot, like an alley, and I just quick unfold it, throw the heads in, fold it back up, and stick in my pocket.
Okay, easy enough. So, is everyone going to Leopold's?
I mean, I guess we don't have a choice.
Okay.
We need to rest.
All right. So, you begin making your way from the Interset Sprawl to the Tri-Spires, which is a little closer from where you started from. But it's going to take you maybe another 15, 20 minutes from where you're at to at least get to the Tri-Spires. As you are... Hold on a second. As you are making your way to the Tri-Spires, before you actually get to the inner wall that actually separates the Tri-Spires from the rest of the dash, you're probably maybe 100 to 150 feet away from that wall. All of a sudden, you begin to hear and there's this like rumbling and shaking noise. And then you begin to feel tremors under your feet. And as you start to feel these tremors and the shaking in the street, you can see that now, like at this early in the morning, there are now more people starting to come out onto the street to start their daily business. They're also kind of like, what's happening? What's going on? And then immediately you hear a in the distance. And as you do, you begin to hear in the distance. As you start hearing these screams and you actually start to hear people running through the streets. And as this is going on, now there are people just running like towards you and away from you. You can see groups of Crown's Guard like looking around, not sure what to do. And as the people are running, the Crown's Guard see them running away from the Tri-Spires. They actually begin making their way towards the Tri-Spires, and a few of them are like, all right, get back to your homes, get back, go, this is for your safety, just get off the streets, find someplace safe, go. What would you all like to do as this is all happening right now?
I scream to the heavens, I just want to sleep!
No one can hear you.
Yeah, I know. I guess perception checks.
I want to take cover wherever I can.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you're kind of on, like, you're on the streets. So cover is not, like, you can find some cover, like, in some of the alleyways, but, like, nothing's actually, like, breaking or falling apart, but you can still feel, like, this shaking, this tremor under your feet, right?
How close are we to the Tri-Spires?
You're about like 150 feet or so from the actual gate, like the walled area where the Crown's Guard, and you can see that now there are Crown's Guard starting to swarm this area, starting to swarm the Tri-Spire area. And the gates are still guarded. But this is what you can actually see right now.
Can we make a run for the golem?
The golem itself is still from the actual gate of the Tri-Spires, it's still probably another like 10-15 minutes from the gate. So you could try, but it's not going to be like an immediate like, oh, we can run and the golem's going to be right there. It's going to take you some time.
Right.
So yeah, if you all want to start moving towards the gates, you can absolutely do that. All right, so you start, so you start moving, making your way towards the gates. The Crown's Guard at this point, they are actually they're still trying to like get people off of the streets, and as they kind of see you coming, they're like, no, it's too dangerous. Just go back. We don't know what's going on. Just Please, for your own safety, just go back. Go back.
But we live here.
Right. There's something happening in the Tri-Spires. Just, we don't know. For your safety, just get back, please.
What did Leo? You think it has to do with Leo?
I hope not, and don't stop saying his name for right now.
As you're just kind of standing there and the Crown's Guard are doing this, you can hear people screaming. Like the groups of people just screaming in the distance. And there are like there's just these weird guttural sounds happening. Everybody make a perception check for me, please. All right. Let's start with Jarina.
Nat 20 plus 2 for a 22.
Okay. Rowan.
I don't know what we're rolling.
Perception.
$24.
24. Sora.
14.
14. Squall.
Big ol' 7.
7. Leah. Can't hear you, Leah.
26. Her computer just froze. So I'm.
Okay.
She's
26. All right.
computer now.
All right. Galen, what'd you get?
21.
21. Okay. Everybody except Squall. Squall, you're just watching these throngs of people just starting to run out of the actual Tri-Spires, and you can see, like, again, the Tri-Spires is very much where the well-to-do of Zadash live, and you can just see all of these well-dressed people, who seem to be like some of them are like, looks like they were getting ready for the beginning of their day. Are now just running out of the Tri-Spire. It's like, oh my god, they're coming! What are they? I don't know. But the rest of you, there is a red glow coming from. Oh, we lost her. Hold on a second.
She's gonna restart.
Okay. Well, we were gonna go on break in a moment anyway. So you can see this red glow coming from deeper into the Tri-Spires. And that is also where you can also hear screaming, this growling noises. And as it continues, you do see the Crown's Guard, at least a dozen or so, running towards the glow. And as that happens, that's where we're going to take our break.
I'd like to just, before we go, say that the reason my perception is so low is because Squall is just very unimpressed by everything that's going on generally, and just waiting for the mass of his party to act before he shows any type of attention. That's just to give some context.
I thought it was the helmet. I thought the helmet was just obscuring all of your vision and senses.
No, that's the common misconception, actually.
Okay.
No, he's just airheaded.
Yeah, right.
Fair enough.
I'm just very aloof, or just going with the flow. Just want to remind everybody.
Like,
you're too cool for school, Squall.
All right. Fair enough. So, with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see what is happening, and we'll go from there. All right, so we'll be right back.
Oops.
Yeah, it switched. Everything switched to the other one. I don't know why. There we go. Okay. All right, we are on break. All right, and we are back, folks. So, as we left off, you're making your way back to the Tri-Spires, and in doing so, encountered some kind of strange phenomenon that was happening, causing the ground to shake, but also causing people in the streets to begin screaming and yelling in dismay as this kind of red glow in the distance seems deeper within the Tri-Spires is happening. The Crown's guards have been trying to get you and other people to get off the streets. And at this point in time, the guards that were just kind of at this gate have just kind of like turned, saw something, and begin running with their fellow Crown's Guard towards everything that is happening, allowing you, if you'd like, to actually just go into the Tri-Spire area if you wished. What would you like to all do?
I'd
Leah,
like
what
to
do you
go
wanna
into the
do?
Tri-Spire.
Yep. Let's go.
Alrighty. So as you're making your way into the Tri-Spires, people are now, it's not a lot of people, but whatever people were kind of like waking up and beginning their day and kind of coming out onto the streets are now just running, and they're just running past you, yelling, very afraid. Like there's absolute fear in their eyes. Just confusion mostly. And you begin running into the streets. As you are now in the Tri-Spire area and you begin seeing all of these, there is an even louder and then another large tremor happens. And then you hear like echoing throughout the streets.
Yes, my children, find them. They're somewhere here. Remember, I want them alive. Well, mostly.
And then immediately in front of you, 3 portals, red, open up.
Run away! Run away!
I need you all to roll initiative.
Woohoo!
What did we do wrong?
Wait, hold on. Shit.
Exist.
Okay. All right, go
I
ahead.
haven't been doing that very well.
All right.
That's not good.
All right. Let's see. Galen, what'd you get?
A natural 1.
For a
Plus
total
5
of?
is 6.
Okay, so 6. Okay. Leo, what'd you get?
I rolled a 3 plus 5 is 8.
8. All right. Alrighty. I have everybody else's initiative because of the way the new encounter tracker works. Your initiative is immediately put in for me. Alrighty. So, let's get this map going. As these portals open, you begin to see figures emerging from these portals. And as they do, you recognize these creatures. These are kobolds. And they come running out of the portal. And they are running towards all of you. Let's get this map up. There we go. All right, let's make sure that is good to go. And let us switch screens so everybody can see what's happening. All right.
My lake.
All right, so can you all see the map all right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. So, oh no, that's what is going on? Why is nothing working? It's the story of my life. There we go. Okay, no, that's not right. Sorry, things aren't working. Professional streamer here, folks. Alrighty, so, you see emerging from, as I said, these portals, kobolds just coming out. And there are a lot of them. At first glance, you can see at least what looks to be about 10, maybe 12 kobolds emerging from these 3 separate portals. And as they're just kind of like looking in throughout the street, they immediately see all of you. And they begin bolting towards all of you. However, before we even get to that, due to initiative, a few of you actually get to go first. So, Sora, actually, Rowan, you're first, and Sora, you are on deck. So, Rowan, what would you like to do?
How big is that space that they're all in?
That whole space, all 3 portals?
Yeah.
Maybe 70 to 80 feet wide.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Entangle at the portal that I'm looking at from the aerial view to the left. It's got the 4 kobolds coming out of it.
Okay.
At least I think it's 4.
Yeah, it looks like there's 4. Yeah.
So just plop the 20 feet radius over top of them.
Okay. And that is a strength saving throw, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's a 12, but let me double check.
Okay. All right, so let's get that portal going. So they will get yeah, okay.
The strength is 15 on that.
15? Okay. All right, so the first kobold is a failure. Second, failure. Third, failure. Fourth, absolute failure. Got a -1 on that. So yeah. Oddly enough, kobolds aren't that strong. So they are considered entangled. Let's get some loopy loops around them to show that they're entangled. And they're all just like, as the vines grow from the street and begin wrapping around them, and they're just kind of like they are trying to pull the vines off to no avail, and they're just kind of stuck there. Okay. So that is your turn. Hold on, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. What is the
range on that?
Yeah.
It's 90 feet.
90 feet? Okay. Yeah, then you've been able to do that. No problem.
Can I go into an alley or something? Is there any cover anywhere?
To your left and right, there looks to be specifically like either here or here are like the sides of buildings. So you can go either way.
I didn't see where you pointed. Yeah,
here.
I think. Okay, yeah.
Or
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the left and keep an eye on my entangle, and I'm just gonna be ready for anything that comes at me.
Okay, so you are currently concentrating on that spell. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So you can make it to about here as your full movement. Your full movement is 30 feet, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's about as far as you can make it. Just are like full sprint running that, and so they use their action to also dash to get up closer to all of you, and that's yeah, that is their turn. And just again, the sun hasn't completely come up yet. It is still kind of like that moment, you know, in between where it's still dark, but you can see just like the light starting to peek over. So yeah, so that is their turn. Next up is Leah. Squall, you're on deck.
Are there any that are flanked that I could get sneak attack on?
No, they are not engaged with anyone as of yet, so you would not be getting sneak attack yet.
Can I hold my action until I see them attack something that can give me sneak attack?
Sure.
Okay. It'll be a crossbow.
Okay. You can move yourself first if you want before you hold that action, because you won't be able to do it later. So remember not to cheat yourself on your turn of any movement or anything that you can do. So, although unless you want to stay where you're at.
I'm trying to find her. I think I see her now. She's next to the big blue guy.
Yeah, she's right there. Who's moving my houses?
That was me. It got stuck. I'm sorry.
No problem. I forgot to lock them into place. So now I'm locking the houses into place. Leah is not that strong for anybody who's watching. She cannot literally move houses. There you go.
It's making. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't see anywhere to take cover, so I'm just going to stay where I am.
Okay. No problem. All right. Galen, it is Squall. It is now your turn. Galen, you are on deck.
Okay. I am going to proceed with a smile on my face and excitement for something to do. 10, 15. Actually, I'm gonna. Okay, I'd like to run up literally one square. Okay.
Okay.
10, 15, 20. Okay, and try to intimidate the Cobalt. Like I'm like ready to like swing. I want to look as fierce as possible. That's what I want to use my action for from that distance.
All right, so you want to so roll an intimidation check for me.
Okay. 10.
10. Hold on a second, because I'm curious. Jesus Christ. Another nat 1. Okay. So as you do this, the kobold, specifically the one that you're in front of, sees you just starts screaming.
Perfect.
Like horrified in this moment at this, intimidating armored individual just coming at him with a sword. Yeah.
And then as my bonus action, I'm gonna manifest my echo right behind him.
Okay. Boom. Right behind him. Turns around. Is now just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna end my turn.
That's your turn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, Galen, it's now your turn. Jarina on deck.
Okay. I say we should run, but you know what? Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these 3 kobolds. So I'm gonna run over to this one. So that's 20 feet right there.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to use my quarterstaff and attack.
All right, go for it.
Attack him.
Go for it.
22.
22 hits.
Alrighty then. First. 9 damage.
Okay, 9 damage. Yeah, you crack your bow staff across its face, and you just watch as the jaw just like unhinges and rips from the face, and the kobold just kind of drops to the ground. Make a quick perception check for me, please.
15.
15. Yeah, as the kobold just kind of drops, you're looking at it, something is kind of off about this kobold. Like there's just like pieces of its chest are distended, and just like odd shaped, and there's like this, like it is drenched. You don't know if it's like water or sweat or something, but it is just like wet. It's like slick. It's just weird looking.
hoping that all these kobolds are extremely fragile, I'm going to go to the one right next to me.
Okay, go for it.
And I'm going to do the exact same thing.
All right.
23.
Does hit.
Six damage.
6. All right. So this one, you hit this one. There's definitely like as you hit it across the chest, there's like this cracking sound and like it's still standing. But it's like and once again, drenched. Its belly looks swollen. But it's just standing there in pain, just screaming at you.
Alright, to make sure he dies, I'm going to kick him.
So this is...
unarmed strike.
Okay.
And I do... Does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit. So as you kind of swing, the kobold's like... and just kind of dodges out of the way.
Alright, I'm going to spend a key point, and I'm going to do Flurry of Blows,
Okay.
and do one more attack.
Okay.
This hits, 27.
Yeah, that does hit.
Mm-hmm. 9 damage.
Okay, as you hit it, this time it cannot dodge out of the way, and its head is now at an odd angle before it drops, making no noise, onto the ground, no longer a threat.
I scream to everyone, we gotta get somewhere, and something is wrong with these kobolds. They're not natural. And that's my entire turn.
All right, good turn. All right.
Wait, hold on. Question.
Yes.
I still have movement. Would going behind this kobold give Squall's Echo an advantage?
No, Squall's Echo does not give flanking advantage, unfortunately.
Given how actions are moving, I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
You say okay. Alrighty. Jarina, it is now your turn.
Question, DM. That eerie voice that said, find them, does Jarina... Is it the same voice from her dreams?
Make a straight intelligence check for me.
I'm gonna use a group inspiration on that.
Go ahead, we have like 5.
That wasn't better. Use one more.
No, you can only use
it's fine.
One per turn.
7.
7. It doesn't sound like the voice from your dream, but it does sound familiar. But you can't put your finger on it.
Okay, I am going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I am moving all the way over here. And then I'm going to use my action to dash.
Okay. All right.
And I am going to end my turn.
Okie doke. All right, so end of your turn. It is now the rest of the kobolds' turns. So, well, the first thing that's going to happen is these 4 are going to desperately try to get out of the entangle. Let's see how that plays out. Should be hilarious. So first one, failure. Fuck you, failure. Oh my god! Roll a 16. They have -2 to strength. So failure. So they all 4 failed. They cannot get out of the entangle. However, E and G, they are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you watch as more kobolds begin to emerge from the portals. Where the hell are they? Okay, there they go. So 1, 2, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then from where the entangle is, they emerge. Let's see. I just want to check something really quick with the entangle. See if they actually start out having to entangle, or if it's just difficult terrain. Let's see. A creature in the area when you cast a spell. Okay, so 2 more emerge from the portal where the entangle spell is, but it is just difficult terrain for them, so that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They can only get this far. And then let's see where they're at. They are going to... Yep. They begin... Once they move, they start taking out their slings and just... And they are going to start trying to throw some attacks at y'all. Let's see. Let's just name them as they come out, so everybody knows who they're fighting. And all right. So their slings have a range of... Okay. So they have pack tactics. So it does give them advantage to a certain extent. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are going to... Actually, 2 of them are going to try and attack Squall's Echo. And then 2 of them are going to attempt to attack Galen with their slings. So the first one for the Echo, that is a nat 20 for 24. So as the rock leaves the sling and hits your Echo dissipates. Surprised and encouraged by what just happened. The other one is now let's see, 5, 10, 15. Yeah. G is going to attempt to throw a rock at you, Squall. And that's going to be... What is that? 13. I don't think that hits you. Yeah. So just this rock just goes flying past your head. And then the other 2 attacks are going to go to Galen. They are within 5, 10, 25, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. They're within the minimum range, so they get advantage on both of these attacks. So The first one is going to be a 14 to hit, which I don't think hits you.
14 does not.
And then the second one is going to be a 19 to hit you.
That just hits.
And you take 4 bludgeoning damage as this rock just smacks you in the forehead. And you just watch it.
Son of a bitch.
You just watch it like they get all excited. Let's see. J and K, they're gonna use their action to dash. 5, 10, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 25, 20, 25, 30. And that's pretty much all they can do. Actually, L and M are also going to use their action to dash because they hate these plants. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20. No, 15, 20, 25, 30. There you go. All right. So, all right. That is all of their turns. This is a lot of kobolds.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Because they engaged Galen, does that mean that does that activate my held action?
No, they would actually have to be within melee range for that to work.
Okay. Okay.
Or you would have to actually hide, which would give you advantage on the attack, and then that would give you your sneak attack. But you're currently out in the open. So, alrighty. So that was all of their freaking turns. Rowan, it is now your turn again. What would you like to do?
I don't know. There's so many of them.
It's an environment-rich target. Hey, rich environment. Take those words, just put them in a way that it makes sense. It's fine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Target-rich environment.
There you go. See, you got
Yay!
that. You knew what I was talking about.
I don't have a bow and arrow. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna wild shape into a mastiff.
All right. Let's see. Why? I know there was a doggo. Where's the doggo? All right, we're just going to use the wolf for now because I can't find a doggo. And you shift into...
I'm sorry. I actually meant wolf. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. So you wild shape into the wolf. You are still concentrating on your entangle.
Yes.
All right. There you go. And what else would you like to do? Yep.
I'm a wolf. I would like to stand in front of Leah.
Okay.
Let's see. I think my speed is 40 feet as a wolf.
Okay. Yeah, you have plenty of movement, unless you want to do more.
Let's see. How far did I move? 20?
That's 5, 10, 15. Yeah, about 20 feet.
Yeah. Can you just move me another 20 feet in front, so I'm closer to Galen?
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20. You're right next to Galen?
Yep.
Okay.
And so that's all my movement. Was my action... Was it my bonus action that I can wild shape?
It's your action to wild shape.
Okay. All right. So I'm done.
Okay, doke. All right. So... All right. That was Rowan's turn. Sarah, it's now your turn.
Okay, I'm going to move up 3. And I see G, E, and I diagonal, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to use Ray of Frost and direct it at those 3.
What is the range on Ray of Frost?
60, and I have my wand for an extra 60.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep, you can do that.
Yep, it's instantaneous.
Is it a cone or is it a line?
A frigid beam of blue-white light. That's what it says. So I would say it's a line.
All right.
All right. On a hit, it takes 1d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn.
Okay, so that's only going to hit one of them. It's not going to hit all three. So it's because it's a ranged attack. You can only attack one creature at a time, unless the spell says otherwise.
Okay. Then I'll use Acid Splash and go for G&E.
G&E, okay. What do I have to roll? I know I have to roll something for that.
Yeah, you have to, I believe it's Dexterity 13.
13? Okay. Alrighty, so G and E. They're not very strong, but they are dexterous. So here's hoping. Alright, so first one is a 9, that's a failure. Second one is a 19, which is a success. Alright, so E fails and G succeeds. So,
all right, that's 5 damage.
5 total?
Yeah.
Okay. So E will take the full brunt of that. And you watch as E just begins and just kind of begins melting into this puddle of bones and
I
flesh.
See that, I say, melt away, little rat, you little stinky rat.
Okay. And then G takes half of that. Actually, no. With Acid Splash. It takes no damage. Okay, so we'll not take half of that. So, kind of dodges out of the way, looks at his melting.
Actually, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sees its companion melting and just like, ah! But is not affected by the actual acid. Seems a little freaked out though. Let's see. All right. Anything else you want to do?
I still have movement, so I'm going to step back.
Okay, go for it.
All right, there we go. My turn.
Excellent. Alrighty, so with that, yeah, it is now. All right, so yeah, the number 3 Cobalt that kind of ran up before also kind of like drenched its chest and stomach, swollen and weird looking, is holding like this little hand crossbow and just kind of like picks it up and levels it at you, Galen. And just shoots at you, Galen. That is going to be I'm going to use a DM inspiration to reroll that. That's a little better. That's a 24 to hit.
That hits. I'm going to do, as a reaction, I'm going to do Deflect Missile.
Okay. So it will be 6 piercing damage, and you reduce that to what?
So I naturally have a +5 damage. Do I have to roll? I've never successfully done this, I don't think.
Yeah, look at it'll tell you what you have to do, what you have to roll.
Yeah, D10 plus 11. Wait, so when okay, yeah, so the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus 11 damage. So if you reduce it to 0 damage, you can spend a key point if you wanted to throw it back. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, so you're just gonna catch it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you spend a key point and catch it.
Wait, it takes key? I thought it was a reaction.
Hold on one second.
It's a key point to throw it.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second. Come on. Sorry. So see, so again, this is just an aside. When any of you don't know how your spells work or any of your skills work, it slows me down because then I have to look it up. So just keep that in mind. All right. I'm trusting you on to do it to know your stuff, or at least have it in front of you so you know. All right. Yeah. So you catch it. You don't take any of that 6 damage. Let's see. I need Galen and Rowan to make me dexterity saving throws, please. Rowan, what'd you get?
15.
15. All right, that's a success. And Galen, what'd you get?
17.
17. That is also a success. All right. So, as you kind of catch this crossbow bolt, you're like, "Ha!" And then you look down in front of you at the body, and you just watch the body in front of you and the body next to Rowan begin to kind of. You watch the chest begin to move, and the stomachs actually begin to move, and it gets a little bit larger and a little bit bigger, and then it explodes. Both the bodies explode all over you. Let's see. So the first one, Galen, you will take that's 8 reduced to 4. Rowan, you also take 4. That's reduced from 8. But you are also next to the other body as well. So, Rowan, you will take an additional 1 damage reduced from 2. And you are once again covered in gore and blood belonging to these kobolds. There's absolutely like claws and fingers sticking in your matted fur now, Rowan, of this kobold. It's pretty nasty. But yeah, they just exploded all over you. And then that is their turn. Leah, it's now your turn.
So is there one engaged with, I think, that squall?
No, none of them are engaged like within melee with any of your companions yet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take aim at the one that's to the left of Squall, so I'm gonna move over about 10 feet.
Okay. Do you mean this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just deleted
this is Galen. This is Galen right here.
Oh, okay.
This is Squall over here.
Okay. I keep getting them confused.
So where'd you go?
I disappeared, but I'm gonna take aim at that guy with my crossbow.
Well, I mean, you normally disappear with your crazy stealth checks, but here you are again. I put you back up there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So where do you want to be? Put yourself where you want to be. Okay.
Like right there, and then I'm gonna disengage, so I'm not like right in the middle.
Well, you don't have to disengage. Disengage is when you're in melee with another creature, and if you run away, they can take a reaction on you. That is what disengage is. So you're not within melee of anybody, so you don't have to disengage.
All right, I'll just take a shot at him then.
Okay, go for it.
I got a nat 20 plus 8.
That definitely hits.
1d6 plus 5. I rolled a 2 plus 5 is 7.
7. Yeah. So as you shoot at this this kobold, it just like and just collapses to the ground.
Okay, I'm good.
Alrighty. Okay, so that was Leah's turn. Squall, it is now your turn. Galen on deck. Can't hear you. Yeah.
I'm going to run up. What the heck? I'm gonna run up and attack him and hit him with a follow up on the attack with another attack.
It's down. It's dead. It's not moving.
Okay.
I mean, you can hit it if you want, but yeah.
Is dead? Oh, I can't. It looked like it was okay. Is it like conscious?
No, it's like not breathing. It looks weird. Like it's like drenched. Its stomach and chest are all like weirdly bloated and swollen, but it's not.
They're flammable cobalt.
It's not breathing or anything.
Awkward. Okay. Can I not attack that?
Yeah. You haven't rolled to attack it yet, so it's fine.
Okay, so I met this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to take an attack on it.
Go for it.
Give it the good old 1-2 here.
All right, go for it.
So we're gonna do. Where are you? Attack button. You are. 17 to hit.
That does hit.
For 9 damage.
Yeah, you just cleave it in two. As you just run up on it. His buddy behind him is as he sees you just cleave it in two.
Okay, and for my extra attack, I'm going to throw a dagger at the one adjacent to me.
H?
Yes, H.
Okay.
For... did 13 hit?
Yeah, 13 hits.
For a total of 5 damage.
As this Cobalt is screaming in horror at the sight of you just cleaving its companion in twain, it looks up just as this dagger plunges itself in the back of the throat as it's screaming and just falls to the ground dead.
Nice. And then as my bonus action, I'm gonna manifest my echo right next to I.
Okay. Blink. It appears right there next to I.
Right. Great. And I'm gonna end my turn with a smile.
Alrighty. Perfect. Next up is Galen. Jarina, you're Yeah, you kick this one in the stomach, and your foot actually goes through its stomach. And you actually kind of have to like pull it out and shake off the gore. But it drops to the ground, not moving anymore.
Okay. And I will do that again with the other one.
Okay.
15.
15 does hit.
All right, one more attack. Another 9 damage.
Okay, yeah, you easily take care of this one as well. This one you just kind of like backhand across the face. You watch as the snout just kind of snaps. Blood begins filling the whole, like the nose cavity, and you just watch as it just chokes on its own blood, and it just and no longer a threat.
Then I'm just gonna move next to my buddy Squall.
Okay.
How much movement do I have? That was
5, 10, 15. You have 20, so you got 20 more feet.
Do I have 20 or 25?
You have 20 more.
Okay. All right. That's as much as I think I have left.
Okay. Alrighty. So that is Galen's turn. Jarina, now it is your go.
For context, because Jarina saw all of those kobolds, and the last time she saw all of those kobolds, a good friend of ours died. That's why she is continuously running away. So 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
What just happened?
And then I'm going to use my action to continue to dash. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
And I will end my turn.
All right. Jarina is running away. All right. So that is Jarina's turn. All right. It is now the kobold's turn. So the entangled group of kobold is going to attempt to break out of their entanglement once again. So that is going to be first one. A success. But what the hell is going on with my screen here? Okay. That's a success. Second one. As a failure. Third. Failure. Fourth success. All right, so two of them have freed themselves from this entangle. So that is A and D. But the other two are still kind of like trying to get out. But let me just make sure of something really quick. Is it beginning or the end of their turn? No, that's their action. All right, so they can take their movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That happens, and then okay. They are going to, yep, they're going to dash. Actually, no, this one's going to go 5, 10, 5, 10. That one dashes, but D is going to take his sling and throw it at Galen. Because he just saw Galen take out a shit ton of his buddies. So that is going to be at advantage because he has pack tactics. And none of them hit. That doesn't hit at all. So it just, another rock just goes right by your head. All right. And I is going to try to attack your Echo, Galen. Squall. kind of pulls out a small dagger and like, it does not get pack tactics on this. Just completely whiffs. Just so freaked out at everything that is happening. It's like and just whiffs the attack. And then, all right. At this point in time, a couple of things happen. You hear echoing once again throughout this area, seemingly just coming from the air.
Oh, wonderful. I think we found them. Send in the good ones.
And you see coming from the portal. Where are they? Come on. So many tokens. Here they are. You see coming from the portal more kobolds. But they look a little different. They're heavily armored in leather armor. And let's see. Galen and Squall, you could actually see this from the ones coming out of the portal closest to you. Their arms are not covered. These kobolds are ripped. Like, they are, like, you can see the veins bulging in their muscles, and they're holding spears. They have a quiver on their back filled with at least 4 or 5 other spears. They're wearing leather armor. And they just jump out of the portal, and they're just like, and they see all of you. But seemingly they spent most of their movement just getting out of the portal. So that just appearing at the portal is what happens. But something else happens. In the distance, you hear starts getting closer and closer, and as you begin trying to see exactly what that is, you see in the distance a large metallic figure running full speed towards the portals, and then it completely bypasses the portals, running past the portals, coming towards you. And Squall and Galen, you can see that sitting on its shoulder is Maya.
Norman!
And Galen and Squall, make me perception checks, please. Galen, what'd you get?
I got 25.
25. Squall, what did you get?
16.
16. As it gets closer to you, Maya has something in her beak. But it doesn't it doesn't try to attack any of the kobolds that it sees. But as it gets closer, you do hear,
"What are you fuckers doing? Get the fuck out of here and run!"
And that's what you hear as the golem kind of approaches you with Maya. And that is actually where we're going to call it for the evening.
Great session.
All right. Good game, everybody.
That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Having fun here. I don't know.
So that's good. That's good, everybody. But like we'll see what happens next week.
Right.
Yeah, you just see this golem coming out. So good game, everybody. Let's do some quick shout outs of folks. I want to thank, as always, my wonderful players. Thank you so much. Had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun as well. Thank you, all of you who have been watching the craziness that has ensued here. This is just some crazy shit that is just going to keep getting crazier. Thank you for taking the journey with us. We had a lot of love this evening, so thank you, Ocelotus Gaming. Ocelotus, we miss you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. Ty Dynamite. Ty, we love you. Resubbing again for 15 months, Ty. You've been with us from the very beginning. Thank you so much. And Ocelotus, again, thank you so much for the resub at tier 2. Tier 2, you're freaking awesome. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to all of you who have been watching. Thank you to my wonderful patrons on Patreon. And thank you to my lurkers, folks who are just wanting to listen to the craziness that's happening. We appreciate all of you. And just watching is support enough. The fact that, some of you decide that you want to give some more support in the different ways that you do, it just means so much to us. So thank you so much for all of that. As always, when we end, we're going to share the love with someone else. So don't leave right away. When we end, we are going to raid someone. And as always, we always try to raid someone who has not only supported us in the things that we're doing here, but is deserving of support as well. So please follow them if you're not following them. Say hello in chat if you're so inclined. But at the very least, if all you want to do is just watch them, that is more than enough. So please, thank you. Share that love if you can. So remember, as we end, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We love you all very much, and we will see you next time. Take care.